Take a moment to do these 3 things. Subscribe to Bible Peak to help spread God's Word, hit the like button as a declaration of faith, and comment, "God is with me." This is more than just a comment, it is a testimony. A confirmation that you were never abandoned, never forgotten, never misplaced. Because you were chosen. You have always felt different. You saw the world differently than those around you. As a child, you asked questions that no one else seemed to care about. You noticed things that others ignored. You had moments where you felt like you didn't belong here. And for years, you may have wondered, why am I like this? Why can't I just fit in? But the truth is, you were never meant to fit in. Because God has set you apart. Everything you experienced, every moment of loneliness, every instance of being misunderstood, was not an accident. It was a sign. A sign that you are one of the chosen ones. Chosen ones have always felt different from the world around them. Since childhood, you sensed things others didn't. You noticed patterns. You felt energies shift in a room. You could tell when someone was lying, even if they spoke with confidence. You could feel the weight of a room before anyone else said a word. And while others went about life unconcerned, you were thinking deeply. Questioning everything, searching for more. But instead of being encouraged, society told you to ignore these things. They told you to stop being so sensitive. To stop overthinking. To stop questioning. And so, you learned to hide your gifts. You tried to silence the voice inside you that told you something greater was happening. You tried to live like everyone else. But no matter how hard you tried, you could not unsee what God had already shown you. You could not turn off your awareness. Because you were not meant to. One of the clearest signs that you are chosen is your deep spiritual sensitivity. Since you were young, you could feel things before they happened. You sensed when something was wrong, even if no one said a word. You knew when someone was hurting, even if they smiled and pretended to be fine. You picked up on emotions that were not even your own, feeling the energy of those around you. And while others dismissed these things as coincidence, you knew it was something more. Because God gave you this awareness for a reason. This was never an accident, this was a calling. But for many of you, this gift felt more like a burden. You carried the emotions of others. You felt the weight of the world's suffering. And because you were so spiritually aware, you often felt alone. Like no one truly understood you. Like you were seeing a world that no one else could see. And in a way, that was true. Because God opened your eyes while others remained blind. Another undeniable sign of being chosen is receiving messages from God through dreams and visions. Ever since childhood, you have had dreams that felt more real than reality. Dreams of places you've never been, but somehow feel familiar. Dreams of things happening before they actually do. Maybe you have even experienced déjà vu, feeling like you've lived a moment before it even happened. You may have thought, that was just my imagination. But it wasn't. Because God speaks to His chosen ones through visions. Through dreams, through divine warnings. Even in the Bible, God used dreams to communicate with His people. He warned Joseph of a famine, preparing him to save his nation. He revealed Daniel's destiny through prophetic visions. He instructed Mary's husband, Joseph, to flee before Herod could harm Jesus. Dreams are one of the ways that God prepares His chosen ones for their mission. And if you have been experiencing this, it is not a coincidence. It is confirmation. God has been speaking to you, guiding you, revealing things before they happen, because you are meant to walk ahead of the crowd. You are meant to see what others do not. There is a reason why your path has been harder than others. There is a reason why you have always felt a little different, a little disconnected. Because you are not like everyone else. God did not design you to be blind to the truth. He did not create you to conform to this world. He created you to stand out. To see what others ignore. To hear what others refuse to listen to. To understand what others dismiss as foolishness. But with this gift comes a burden. Because the more you see, the harder it is to ignore. The more you know, the lonelier you feel. And the closer you get to your calling, the more the enemy will try to stop you. Because you are a threat. You are a light in a world of darkness. You are a beacon of truth in a world that thrives on deception. And the enemy knows that if you ever fully embrace your calling, nothing will be able to stop you. If you have ever doubted whether your experiences meant something, this is your answer. If you have ever questioned why you felt different your whole life, this is your confirmation. You were never alone in your struggles. You were never imagining things. Every moment, every experience, every sign, they were all leading you here. To this very moment. To this realization that you are not just different. You are chosen. And now, you have a choice. You can continue to live like everyone else. Or you can step fully into your calling. Because you were never meant to stay hidden. You were never meant to blend in. You were meant to rise. There is a reason why certain dreams stay with you long after you wake up, a reason why some places feel eerily familiar, even though you've never been there, a reason why you see patterns that others overlook, why the world sends you signs that most people dismiss. Because when you are chosen, your path is not random, your steps are ordered, your life is being orchestrated by something far greater than you can imagine. And even when you don't realize it, God is speaking to you. From a young age, you have experienced vivid, powerful dreams, dreams that felt so real, you woke up with the emotions still lingering, dreams of places you've never seen, only to find yourself standing in them years later, dreams of people you've never met, only to encounter them in real life, and sometimes, you have dreamed of things before they happened, a warning, a message, a glimpse of the future, you may have ignored it. You may have told yourself, it was just my imagination, but deep inside, you knew it was something more, because chosen ones do not dream like ordinary people, their dreams are not meaningless. Their dreams are messages, and if you have been experiencing this, understand this truth, God has been speaking to you in ways beyond the physical world. There are moments when you walk into a place and feel an overwhelming familiarity, as if you have been there before, as if your soul recognizes it before your mind does. You experience conversations that seem to repeat, events that feel as though you've already lived through them. This is not just coincidence, it is a sign that you are moving along the path that was meant for you, that you are remembering something your spirit already knew, and while most people ignore these feelings, chosen ones pay attention, because they know that déjà vu is not just a glitch in the mind. It is a signpost on their spiritual journey. There are no coincidences in the life of a chosen one, everything is connected, everything is leading you somewhere, but while most people dismiss the signs, you see them, you see numbers repeating, 111, 444, 777, whispering messages to your soul. You hear a song playing at the exact moment you needed to hear it. You find yourself thinking of someone, only for them to call you moments later. These are not accidents, these are messages, these are moments where God is reminding you that He is guiding you, that you are exactly where you need to be, that He has never left you, not even for a moment. Have you ever been one step away from disaster, only to be saved at the last second, a sudden decision to take a different road, only to find out later that an accident happened where you would have been, a feeling in your gut telling you not to trust someone, and later discovering they had bad intentions, a moment where everything seemed to fall apart, only for you to look back and realize that was the best thing that could have happened, This is divine protection. The invisible hand of God guiding you even when you don't see it, even in your darkest moments, when you thought you were alone, He was there, making a way, shielding you from things you didn't even know were coming. This is why you are still here. Why? Despite everything you have been through, you have survived. There are moments in life that seem random at the time. You make a small decision, to talk to a stranger, to go somewhere new, to take a leap of faith, and that one decision changes everything. A conversation leads to an opportunity. A chance meeting becomes a lifelong connection. A door closes, only for a better one to open. These moments feel like chance, but they are not. They are divinely placed intersections on your journey, moments that God set into motion long before you even realized you needed them. Have you ever noticed how, when you are on the right path, things just seem to align? The right people show up at the right time. Resources appear exactly when you need them. Opportunities unfold in ways that are almost too perfect to believe. This is called divine synchronicity. It is when God moves everything into place so that your path is clear. It is when you take a step in faith, and the ground appears beneath you. Most people miss these moments, but chosen ones recognize them, because they know that when God is moving, nothing can stop His plan. There have been moments in your life when you felt lost. When you wondered if you were making the right choices, when you questioned if you were truly on the right path. But let me tell you something, you have never been lost, you have only been learning. Every wrong turn was still leading you to the right place, every delay was still moving you forward, every hardship was shaping you into the person you were meant to become. You have always been guided, you have always been protected, and even when you thought you were alone, heaven was walking with you. If you have experienced these things, the dreams, the déjà vu, the unexplainable moments of protection, the divine timing that could not have been planned by human hands, then hear this: you are not crazy, you are not imagining things, you are chosen, and everything in your life, every sign, every message, every moment of divine intervention, has been leading you here. Now, the only question is, will you listen? There are moments when you meet someone, and in an instant, before they even speak, you feel like you've known them forever. Moments when you step into a place, and suddenly, an unexplainable wave of emotion washes over you, as if you've been there before. Moments when you look at the stars, when you close your eyes in silence, and something deep inside you whispers, "This is bigger than me. This is bigger than this life." And you're right, because as a chosen one, your journey did not begin in this lifetime. It has always been unfolding. You have walked this path before, and the people, the places, the emotions that stir something deep within you, they are all pieces of a greater spiritual journey. There are people in this world that you will meet once, and feel as if you have known them for eternity. A single conversation can feel like a reunion. A passing glance can carry the weight of 1,000 unspoken words. They understand you without explanation. They see you without judgment. They recognize your soul before they recognize your name. This is not a coincidence. This is a divine connection, and whether they stay in your life for a moment or a lifetime, they were meant to cross your path. Because some bonds cannot be formed in a single lifetime. Some bonds are woven through multiple lifetimes, across realms, across destinies. And when you meet one of these souls, it is not about the past, it is about the mission you are meant to complete together. Have you ever stood in a place that you've never been before, yet it felt like home? A city, an ancient structure, a mountaintop, an ocean view, and suddenly, your soul remembers something that your mind cannot. Tears fill your eyes, but you don't know why. A wave of peace washes over you, but you can't explain it. It's not nostalgia, it's not just a beautiful sight, it's a spiritual memory, a moment where your soul whispers, "I have been here before," and in that moment, you realize, you are walking the path you were always meant to walk. Because just as God brings people into your life at the right time, He also brings you to places that hold keys to your awakening. These places stir something deep within you because they are part of your divine journey. You feel it, don't you? Even when you are surrounded by people, you still feel alone, not because you are antisocial, not because you don't care, but because the conversations around you feel shallow. Because the things that excite others don't move you, because the world's distractions feel empty to you, and no matter how hard you try, you cannot unsee the truth that has been revealed to you. This is the loneliness of the chosen, the deep longing for something more. Something real, something divine. You have changed. While others are still caught in the illusions of this world, you see through it all. While they chase status, money, and validation, you crave something deeper. While they numb themselves with distractions, you seek truth. And the more you awaken, the more you realize, most people do not see what you see, and that is why you feel alone. Because your soul no longer fits in the spaces that once felt comfortable, because God has been separating you from what no longer serves you. Have you noticed how some relationships no longer feel the same? How certain friendships that once felt effortless now feel forced? How the things that once entertained you now feel meaningless? This is not a bad thing. This is growth, because as God elevates you, He will remove the things that are keeping you from your destiny, and sometimes, that means letting go of people who are not meant to go where you are going. Not because you no longer love them, not because they are bad people, but because they are not ready to walk the path that you are walking, and forcing them to stay in your life will only hold you back. You may feel like you are losing people, you may feel like no one understands you, but hear this, God is never subtracting from your life. He is making room for something greater, the right people, the ones who truly understand you. They are coming. You do not have to search for them, you do not have to force connections. The ones who are meant to walk this journey with you will appear at exactly the right time, because just as God has been preparing you, He has been preparing them too. Instead of resisting this loneliness, instead of trying to go back to who you used to be, instead of forcing yourself to fit into spaces that no longer align with your soul, embrace this season. This is not a punishment, this is not a curse. This is your preparation, because before God surrounds you with the right people, before He connects you with your true spiritual family, He needs you to be comfortable walking alone, to know that your worth does not come from the approval of others. To understand that your mission is greater than temporary loneliness, because when the time comes, when you are fully ready, the right people will arrive, and the loneliness that once felt like a burden will finally make sense. Every spiritual connection, every unexplainable familiarity, every season of loneliness, it has all been part of your journey, a journey that has been unfolding across lifetimes. A journey that God has been guiding all along, and if you have felt this, if you have lived this, then you already know, this is not random, this is your confirmation. You are not lost, you are not broken, you are being prepared, because what is coming next will change everything. You have been given a choice, not just today, not just in this moment, but throughout your entire life. Every sign you've received, every moment of déjà vu, every divine intervention, they have all been leading you to this realization. You are not here by accident. You were not born to live an ordinary life. You were born with a purpose far greater than what this world has told you. And now, you must decide, will you step into your calling, or will you ignore it? Because once you see the truth, you can never unsee it. Every hardship, every rejection, every lonely night, none of it was random, it was all part of your awakening. Because you cannot lead others until you have first walked through the fire yourself. You cannot guide others through darkness unless you have known what it means to walk alone. You were chosen not just to survive, but to transform, to rise above every struggle that was meant to break you, to stand in your truth even when the world tells you to conform, to step into your divine purpose, no matter how uncomfortable it may feel at first. This is your training ground, and now, the question is, are you ready to embrace the mission you were given? Many people see the signs but choose to ignore them. They feel the pull towards something greater, but they are afraid to let go of what is familiar. They get glimpses of their purpose but dismiss them as coincidence. They know deep inside that they were meant for more, but fear keeps them stuck, and so, they remain in the cycle. They continue to live as the world tells them to. They bury their gifts, they silence their intuition. They pretend they don't feel what they feel, and year after year, life feels emptier. Because nothing is more painful than knowing you were meant for more but being too afraid to embrace it. You were never meant to be like everyone else. You were meant to be extraordinary, but you must be willing to walk the path that few are brave enough to take. Many people fear the spiritual awakening that comes with being chosen. Because the moment you awaken, everything changes. You no longer find comfort in the distractions of this world. You see through the illusions that once kept you entertained. You feel disconnected from the things that no longer align with your soul. At first, this can feel isolating. You may question why you feel so different. You may feel like no one understands you. But once you see the truth, you can never go back to sleep. You can never pretend you don't know what you now know. You can never fit into a world that was never meant for you. Because awakening is not just about seeing the truth, it is about accepting the responsibility that comes with it, the moment you say yes to your divine mission. Everything begins to shift, the wrong people fall away, the right opportunities appear, your purpose becomes clearer, doors that were once locked suddenly open, because when you fully step into your calling, God moves everything into place. The things you once worried about, they no longer control you. The fears that once held you back, they lose their power, because when you finally understand who you are, when you fully accept that you were chosen, you walk with a confidence that cannot be shaken. You move with a purpose that cannot be denied, and nothing, no force, no person, no circumstance, can stop what God has already set in motion for your life. Look around you. The world is lost, people are asleep, blindly following whatever distractions are placed in front of them. They chase after material things, but their souls remain empty. They seek validation from others, but they have forgotten who they truly are. But you are different. You were given eyes to see beyond the illusion. You were given a heart that longs for truth. You were given a mission that is bigger than just yourself. And now, the world needs you to rise, to step forward, to share your wisdom, to use your gifts, because there are others who are still asleep, and they need your light to wake up. You were meant to hear this. This message was not random. It is not just another thing to scroll past. It is a confirmation, a reminder of who you have always been, a call to action, because you can no longer pretend that you don't know the truth. You can no longer live a life that is beneath your calling. Now, you must choose. Will you continue to live as you always have, or will you rise into the destiny that has been waiting for you all along? Because the time for hesitation is over. You are not here by accident. You were chosen, and now, the only question left is, are you ready to step into who you were always meant to be?